June 22nd, 1941. South of the Pripyat marshes, the invading Germans scored a much more modest success against the Red Army, of course, compared to what they have achieved against the Western Front. Sure, by the end of the first week, roughly 50% of the defending Southwestern Front has either been wiped out or is now trapped in the pocket between Brody, Dubno and Rovno. It is now clear to everyone, but the big mustache man above me, that the goal of the German is to trap the leftovers of the Southwestern Front in the Galician pocket. And so this week, instead of launching futile counterattacks, the leftovers of the 26th and 12th armies begin their march eastwards in an attempt to establish a new defensive line. Only time will tell if this attempt will be successful. Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the second episode of this first turn of this online game of War in the East 2. So it's time to talk about what happened and what happened south of the Pripyat marshes. What King GD did was to go for what people call the Rovno pocket. Now, normally, from my understanding, the Rovno pocket occurs when you encircle all of the Red Army units exactly between Kovel, Rovno, Dubno and Brody. Because I like to roleplay, so I never divert some units of Army Group Center south into the Pripyat marshes to seal off this pocket. I don't know how this is supposed to look like. But there is one thing that I can say, and I have to say that King GD did an outstanding job in sealing off the easternmost end of this pocket, because I see that he has units over here. He motorized plenty of units of the 17th Army and of the 1st Panzer Group. So I assume that he has a, like in this case, here he has a regiment of the 11th Panzer Division, and here is another one. So here I guess there is the 11th Panzer Division, here there is another regimented Panzer Division, and he did that because he knows that I have no way to counterattack and reopen this pocket, because here there are enemy control hexes and so on and so forth. What I can do, no, nothing. Yeah. I can try to march southwards, actually. Oh, wait. Oh my god. Actually, I can reopen the, at least the Brody Dubno pocket. Oh, my friend, you just did a big mistake here. Oh, yes, look at that. Look at that. Well, I mean, even if I can reopen it, these units will be, let's say, sealed. Their fate will be sealed next week, when inevitably he will most likely use the 25th Motorized Infantry Division to advance towards Yarmolnitsi, and most likely the Romanian Armored Division to seal off the Galician pocket. So the plan here is very simple. Let me check if I have some. I don't think I have any support unit over here, but still, I want to delay as much as possible King GD, just to, you know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, just because I want to delay his advance into Ukraine for as much as possible. So the goal of this week and in this episode is to rescue as many troops as I possibly can from the Galician salient over here and establish a defensive line. Most likely I will establish a defensive line behind this river, behind the Sluch. Yeah, behind the Sluch, and especially around these heights over here, and then I will curve behind the Yuzhny Bug, and here behind Vinica, and then the best case scenario would be to link up with the troops of the Southern Front, and then have a continuous defensive line. But I don't think this will happen. So I think what will happen this week and maybe next week will be to pull back behind the Yuzhny Bug and fortify Odessa as much as I possibly can. And there is nothing that can be said about the reserves, because yeah, this week basically, all of the units that have arrived cannot be moved, so I will have to wait until next week before doing anything into the reserve theater boxes. And with this, folks, I'm at the end of this brief introduction, and without further ado, let's jump straight into this episode. Alright, folks, so just a couple of words. Honestly, I was not expecting to see this come back, to be honest. Okay, I had a mechanized division and inside the Dubno-Brody pocket, and okay, one thing that people notice is that somehow because of the in-game mechanics, when you have a mobile unit that is encircled, somehow this encircled mobile unit always gets very high movement points, because if this unit does not uses its vehicles to get resupplied and still has some fuel and supplies from the previous movement phase, well, apparently this unit, so the game calculates that this unit deserves the not the highest but a very high amount of movement point. And yeah, this allowed me to reopen the Dubno-Brody pocket. Now, the reopening of this pocket is quite significant, at least for me, because this will force King GD to invest ideally one more turn to just properly seal this pocket, and one more turn to wipe out this pocket, unless he wants for a general. He wants to go for a general route of the units, which is something that I personally would not do. And that, I mean, knowing him and knowing a little bit how he plays in single player, I think that most likely he will go for the first option, which is to invest 1 week in just sealing off the Galician pocket, and then in the week after, or maybe in the weeks after, I don't know, hopefully in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, he will be busy in sacrificing part of the Romanians or the 17th Army in clearing out the Galician pocket. And also one other thing that maybe I didn't say in the previous episode, I forgot by now, but when you want to rescue as many units as you want and as you possibly can, use the railway redeployment. The HQ units, they normally have a very high amount of movement points, like 50 or 45, but when you have units which are not depleted and that they still have strategic movement points, I would highly recommend you guys go for the railway redeployment, as I'm doing right now with the mountain rifle divisions. And yeah, with this retreat eastwards, I would say this concludes the first episode and the first turn of this online challenge. And as always, folks, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I wish you all the best. Stay safe, stay healthy, and of course I hope to see you all again next week.